part 7 of our Oracle of Ages 100% walkthrough, and in this part we'll be going through the second dungeon, the first part. Sorry, Red. Yeah, the first part of the second dungeon in the game.
It's the wing dungeon. Is the name of it. And
now we said it twice before we came in here, and it says it right when you walk in.
Yeah, and in this part we'll be getting the dungeon item in this part.
And we'll also be facing off against the mini boss Swoop.
Who's way too easy.
Cool name.
It is a cool name. Now, I just feel like this is going to be tough because I thought this dungeon was very boring.
It is like, well, first of all, those color blocks. I hate those puzzles throughout this game. We'll get them a couple times in this game, a couple different dungeons.
They are.
But these things, I mean, there's obviously a different combination you can use, but I just do not like those things.
And like in the first dungeon, we ran into it, but it was a very simple one. It was very simple. They slowly get more and more complicated as we go along.
Well, there's one in here, like, later on that's actually very simple. You only have to move it, like, 4 times. Yeah. But, like, if you don't get it right, like, that first push, like, you can really, like, go around in circles.
Yeah. Now, you see, like, the mine carts. That are, I said this is a boring dungeon, but I actually really liked the mine carts. I thought it was a nice, like, addition to this dungeon.
I liked that it appeared this early in the game.
Me too.
Now, they weren't as good as the Minch Cat mine carts because the animation for... now, they didn't have the technology to do that in this game, but... Man. I mean, it makes a second dungeon is usually still pretty bland.
Yeah.
So, like, that minecart track that we'll be riding on later on just adds a little bit, excitement to it, I guess.
It does, it does. And even though, like, you move... I feel like you move really slow in
as much excitement as you can add in this game.
Yeah. There's not a lot of excitement to be had. Like, at least the minecarts, it does add something to this dungeon.
Well, one thing, like, we really like the Spirit Grave, like, the theme that it had, and then also, like, the color that it had, it felt right.
Yeah.
This dungeon kind of just, I don't know, there's just really nothing that stands out.
There isn't.
I think it's called Wing Dungeon because I think the map, it actually maybe looked like a wing, so...
I think that's how they name most of their dungeons,
really,
actually.
The theme is not, there's really not much to the theme.
No.
The color of the dungeon is just kind of, I know it's in handheld, like, I think 8-bit. Was it still 8-bit? I think so,
But plus, like, I do feel like color actually comes in a huge part in this dungeon because there are several rooms and puzzles. Like you said, we already saw the colored blocks.
Well, that's how I was exactly going to relate what I was saying. Like, that's how I was going to put it, but then, you started talking, so I just let you go with it.
I had to. But yeah, there are several different color-related puzzles, whether it's, there's a few that we have to switch, like, the track on that cart. And there's a few where you have to, like, just get the tiles on the floor the right color. So it almost feels like a color dungeon.
Yep. Oh yeah, I guess I did not expect you to go to the color dungeon. That was actually pretty clever going back to Link's Awakening. But
that's all
I just did not think I did not picture you saying that. Now right here, I hate keys because you never know which way they're going to go, obviously. And then you'll see right here that actually I'm trying to hit him, and then I end up missing the ladder because he can knock you. Well, I don't know if enemies knock you back in this game or not.
I'm not sure.
Like, some games, like, they can actually knock you off that ladder right there, and then other games they can't.
Well, we never get hit by enemies, so it's okay.
Okay.
As we just got nailed by a snake. Or a rope, sorry. Now, I do love, though, the spiked thwomps. Like, you can see, like, the eye follows you all around the room, and then once you get in range of him, he smiles.
Yeah, I really like the facial. It's kind of, like, I like how it goes back to a frown.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, sad, then, oh, there he is, he can smash
like,
you. He starts smiling and everything.
Yeah, it's just,
now, how did that heart piece stick up there?
I have no idea.
Physics of Zelda.
Physics
of Zelda. They never make sense.
Hey, but just like we never get hit, we didn't need that heart piece. It's okay.
Now, in this room right here, you actually have to kill all the ropes to be able to move that block. And we could have actually gotten the compass a little bit earlier, but we had to go down and get a key, and then we're going back through this way, so we just ended up saving it because we really didn't need it that early in the dungeon.
And to be honest, since we're doing a walkthrough, we don't really need the compass anyway.
We're so good at Zelda, we never need a compass, period.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. Now, we might not get any of the items, but...
Is this the first time we've actually rode the minecart?
In this game, yes, I think.
Yeah.
That's probably the first dungeon. I don't think it was.
It feels like we're moving so slow in it, though.
Yeah. Not like Minish Cap, where you're flying in Minish Cap.
Oh, I love it. Plus the look on your face, and you got Eslo flying out too. Just
like I said, the facial expression, as I said earlier in this part, made that minecart.
Yeah.
But anyways, going back to the mini boss right here, it looks like he's flying with his ears.
It does.
Like he kind of looks like, if you look at his body, it looks like he has arms down to the side. So I guess, I don't know why they didn't call him Dumbo. To be honest with you.
Now, I thought this mini-boss was obviously pretty easy. It's early in the game, of course.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. Reminded me, of course, this game came much later, but it reminded me of the Knuckle Master from
Oh, yes, that's a very good point.
The way he leaves the holes in the floor.
And you don't want to fall down those holes because you'll actually fall to the area below.
You have to restart the
and
fight.
I'm not sure. I would think so. I would think in this game you probably have to restart the fight, but it'll drop you to an area that we'll actually visit later on. I'll try to point it out if we remember. Yeah, but you don't want to fall there because you got to basically come all the way back up and restart the fight.
No, that's a horrible.
We think
that's a horrible throwback to Moldorm if there ever was one.
Yeah, from Link to the Past, but not in the Link Between Worlds though.
Oh, thank goodness. How about though? It also reminds me of. It was the boss in Turtle Rock in Link's Awakening, the boxer guy, that knocked you like all the way back to the beginning of the dungeon. That was so annoying.
That's just as bad as a Wallmaster. Now, luckily it never happened to me, but that's so infuriating when you're like there in the dungeon, you have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Way to pat yourself on the back. That never happened to me.
Yeah, well, hey, every once in a while something good happens for me in these games.
I really like the throwback to the not only the first dungeon, but also like the original Legend of Zelda, just having the items sitting there.
Yeah, it's nice, like, for once not to get something out of a treasure chest. Like, it's just right there, and like, oh, like, that's a nice item. Like, just wait for it right there.
And then using the Rock's Feather to jump on top of the spiked thwomp, I thought was a really nice touch. And to get those rupees up there, but this will go ahead and wrap up Part 7.